Hey guys, welcome back to Hatchets Hooch. I'm Hatchet, and we got Matt with us today. What's going on, Matt?
Not much, man. How's it going?
You know, same old, same old. Hanging out in quarantine.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
You know, we're gonna look back on these Hatchets Hooch, and people are gonna be like, what in the piss is going on here? This is the year 2020. You know, it's the big plague outbreak.
Yeah. Yeah.
1920 we had the outbreak, in 1820, so we're just fulfilling the prophecy.
Right.
So during this time, you know, and I was telling my little girl, she's living through a history lesson. Her kids and grandkids are gonna learn about, you know, how the whole world shut down during this time period.
Yeah.
And being that we live in a modern world now, you know, in 1920, they were still messing around with horses and buggies. There was a few cars around and stuff, but I mean, it was still pretty primitive. This is a whole new deal, man.
It really is. A lot of new things that we're able to accomplish in a completely different manner than they would have been back then.
Yes, but things are still staying the same too.
That's true.
For example, I can't think of not one local distillery that is not making hand sanitizer.
Exactly.
They have stopped liquor production and started making hand sanitizer.
And kudos to them for doing that, because they saw a need and they knew that they could help with that need, and they switched over their whole operations to make that happen.
Sure. Our buddies up at South Mountain, they've been on Facebook and on the internet, and they're asking for donations, bottles, containers, sugar, and people are bringing these donations up to the distillery, and they are making hand sanitizer and giving it away to the local fire department, EMS, nurses, all that, the hospital. Man, you can't get any better than that.
No, you can't. And I mean, you've also got you was talking about South Mountain. Well, Old Nick's doing the same thing. You know, and those are our buddies down there in Lewisburg, and they're doing the exact same thing. So.
Oh yeah, and you know, the Japanese kind of said it best during World War II. It looked like they had America whooped, and then all of America started coming together, and the women started taking over the men's jobs, and all the scrap metal went to making tanks and airplanes and stuff. And the Japanese said, I think we've awoken a sleeping giant. And when America faces these problems that we have, we all come together. Even though we've got all these political issues and differences and gender problems and stuff, we all come together and we make things work.
Exactly. And I think that says a lot about our just the population of the U.S. and the way that we do come to aid others, even though there's all kinds of crazy things going on and everybody has their own opinions about everything. We can put all that stuff behind us and just work for a single just cause, you know?
Sure, yeah, and you know, it's being put to the test every day. So we're in quarantine, man. We're fixing to drink some liquor here on Hatchets Hooch at Club Bourbon.
Yeah. I'm super thrilled to have you here tonight, and to be able to open up the bar and shoot a couple of videos, because it's been a long time since we've been able to utilize the space, and although this may seem slightly unorthodox, it is definitely something that I'm glad we were able to accomplish.
Sure. Oh yeah. Anytime I can get over to Club Bourbon.
Right.
All right. So what are we drinking today, Matt?
Man, we got Benchmark. This bottle has been here at the bar for a hot minute, and it has shown its face at least 2 times that I know of on other videos. And I've just been waiting, because we've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and never done it.
I know it's been there over a year, because February was our year that we had started aging that Buffalo Trace Nashville 1.
Yep.
And I think I brought the bottle over. I brought the whole Buffalo Trace Showdown, if you recall.
Exactly, that's right, because we lined them up across the bar. It was all the products that came from Mash Bill 1.
Yeah, and that Benchmark, that's Buffalo Trace brand bourbon, E.H. Taylor, which was excellent.
Amazing.
And Tag Jr., and I think Elmer T. Lee also.
Yeah.
So Mash Bill 1 creates a lot of different bourbon. Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, I think what doesn't get made into a Stag Junior is shipped to Virginia and distilled and aged there, and that becomes the Bowman collection. The Bowman Brothers,
Yeah.
which is small batch, the John J. Bowman, which is single barrel, and the Isaac Bowman, which is a port wine finished bourbon.
See, you learn something new every day on Hatchets Hooch.
And I have that whole 3 collection of the Bowmans sitting here collecting dust, Matt. So we're gonna have to drink them.
Soon.
All right. So Benchmark is the lowest priced of the collection, and is also the lowest aged in the collection of the Buffalo Trace. So this is pretty much their entry into Buffalo Trace products. Other than the moonshine, it's absolutely not aged at all. But from my understanding, this is like a 2-year aged bourbon.
Yeah, there's no age statement on the bottle itself, so they're not gonna put that out there just in case they gotta run it short or whatever.
Right, and this is 80 proof, so it's just like any other whiskey or bourbon that you would pick up, the standard proof. But now when you move to a Buffalo Trace bourbon, I'm pretty sure that goes to a 3 to a 4-year age. And then even when you move up to Stag Junior, it says aged at nearly a decade. So the longer it ages, the different brands that it makes.
Exactly.
So, and then of course there's different lots. So like when they make the small batch, they used to take the barrels and they would rotate them throughout the warehouse. The bottom of the warehouse is one temperature, and the top of the warehouse is another temperature. But in recent years, they said they just stopped rotating them because it's unsafe. But they would take all the barrels from the top and the bottom and the middle, and then they would dump them into one vat, and then mix that around and make a small batch bourbon.
Oh, that's cool.
So you get the flavors from the top, middle, and bottom. But now a single barrel, of course, that just comes from one barrel, and it comes from different parts of the warehouse.
Right.
What we're getting is normally a mixture of all these different barrels. So I'm excited, man. To tell you the truth, I have never had Benchmark.
Wow. So this is a product that you've never tried, but you've had for all this time.
Oh yeah. I mean, anytime you're in North Carolina and you see a Buffalo Trace product, you better get it.
You better, because it's not going to exist very long.
Now, I will say Benchmark is the most available in North Carolina.
Right.
It's not in every store, and as a matter of fact, I think I've only seen it in like 3 or 4 stores. So, I mean, it is available, but not readily available.
I got you.
It's and also it makes Eagle Rare too.
Aha, nice.
Yes. So, and Eagle Rare is used to be 10 years, but they took that age statement off recently. So, all right. Well, let's snip it.
All right. I like that this bottle on the side label it says this Benchmark, the bourbon by which all others are measured. So it's that right there kind of gives you just a little bit of insight into the thought process behind Benchmark and how they do their products.
Sure. Buffalo Trace is probably the top brand when it comes to bourbon as far as mass-produced bourbon. And when you hear these people, paying lots of money for stuff, most of the time it's a Buffalo Trace product.
Right.
And there's a good reason for that. Have you had a Buffalo Trace product that wasn't good?
No, there's not been one that I've tried yet that has been not absolutely stellar.
Right. I mean, they have a great distillery, and they're making great products there. So, well deserved. All right. Let's Kentucky Sour Mash. So that is a little different there. They use some of the previous mash, and they start with new mash with it. It keeps a sour mash.
That's cool.
So, all right, let's sniff it.
It smells really good.
I haven't drunk bourbon in quite a while. And that sniff right there of a good, almost reminds me of a Woodford.
It really does. You know, there's a lot of sweet undertones to that I actually kind of wasn't really expecting. Though I probably should have been expecting, being that, you know, this is a Buffalo Trace product, because it's going to be well rounded. It should be. That's the way that this should always come off.
Well, being that it's their lowest aged and cheapest product, you would expect it to be it wouldn't be an Elmer T. Lee, it wouldn't be a Stag Junior, but like you said, you expect a certain amount of greatness from it.
Right.
And it smells pretty good right there too. So, I'm trying to figure out what that sweetness is.
You know, it's like to me it's like a honey vanilla, because it's not a molasses. It doesn't smell bitter at all. It is just sweet, and like I said, in my mind it's honey vanilla.
Yeah.
I do smell. I
like the honey vanilla.
I smell maybe some citrusy note, but it's very faint. And I think that could also be just the prevalence of the alcohol smell.
Right. It's definitely got. You can definitely pick the corn out of it, like the corn smell.
Yeah.
It's not a moonshine prevalent corn, but it's still there a little bit.
Yeah, I get that.
But man, I like the caramelization from the barrel smell.
Yeah.
So that just, to me, this benchmark seems like that's the most prevalent smell, is what you get, the caramelization off the barrel.
Right.
Which is the brown sugars, that type of smell. Yeah, that's great. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Ding. Hey,
That ain't bad.
it's got some alcohol heat.
It's definitely got some heat.
Kind of sticks with you.
It does, and it's not as sweet as it smelled. It smelled more honey, and it tasted more molasses, because it wasn't a punch of sweetness. It was just like an undertone of sweetness with a good bit of bitters. So, but the flavor, I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I agree with you when you say the taste is a bitter molasses. It's not very complex. I get that bitter molasses, and then I get the alcohol from the corn liquor.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I could taste. The sweetness smell did not come through at all.
No, it really didn't.
Now, not to say that this is just pucker your lips bitter. No, not at all. But when you're searching for a flavor, there's no sweetness flavor in it.
No. And I'm sure that a majority of the reasoning behind that is because it hasn't had the chance to develop. I mean, it's young, and the flavors haven't melded into the what's the word? The angelic levels that you might catch in a E.H. Taylor or, an Angel's Envy. So this, I mean, it's still good in its own right, but it has, if this, that's what it is. When this is left to continue to develop, it really becomes something amazing. But in its current state, it is still very good, especially for a budget priced bottle. But it is not gonna be. It's not gonna be your go-to every day. Let me drink that instead of, a Maker's Mark or something like that. Now, granted, the price point, you have to take that into consideration. But with it hot, the flavor profile is not super well rounded, at least not at this point.
I paid $10.95 for these bottles.
Yeah, that's an insane price. And really, if you take into the account $10.95 for the price, you're thinking about, that would be like the same thing as buying.
3 makers.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, like I'm thinking this would be on the same playing field as like a Ezra Brooks or a Rebel Yell. And if you think about, and if you think about those and their flavor profiles, this is actually it's on par and probably better than a lot of those hot. So,
sure.
Because
I think that's what we're not thinking about here is we're drinking it hot so far.
Exactly.
I think when we ice it down, it's going to get even better.
I'm sure it will.
So, and it's not bad at all, but like I said, whenever we done the year on the mash bill 1, we kind of said the same thing. It's got a little bit of flavor, and you can still taste the moonshine coming through.
Exactly.
So, and that's pretty much the way I feel this benchmark is for me right now.
I agree. All right. Let me give you 3 cubes. All right.
Now, the label on this is kind of interesting. To me, it looks like a knockoff of Jack Daniels.
It really does. It really does.
And I would assume that Jack Daniels was first. Benchmark's not been around as long as Jack Daniels.
Right.
So they're old number 7, and this is old number 8.
Right. Yeah. And that's probably, that's a marketing ploy, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
You get that close enough to a Jack Daniels bottle, and it's going to maybe entice somebody to be like, hey, what is that? Let me get that.
If you're drunk enough, this is a square bottle with a black and white label.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So also reminded me of watching Sons of Anarchy. When they're around sitting drinking liquor, they're drinking Jack Daniels. But if you look really close, it's Jake Daniels.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
The copyright off.
I watched that series all the way through and never noticed that. Never.
Yeah. Well, now that we've been doing this for a while, a lot of times I'll be watching TV and whenever they're drinking something, I'm always looking at what they're drinking.
Right.
And I'll tell you, Blanton's shows up a lot more than you would think in TV shows and movies.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Well, that's because it doesn't show up in North Carolina.
No, that's true. That's true. There's a lot that doesn't show up in North Carolina, though.
Yeah, all right.
So,
all right.
Talking about North Carolina, and I guess there is, if we can say anything good come of this pandemic, the only good thing that I have seen so far is that I went to the liquor store 2 days ago, and lo and behold, on the shelf, 190 proof Everclear. So we haven't had 190 proof in a year and a half or 2 years. They pulled it's been a while. They pulled 190 proof and they brought in the 151 Everclear, but they got rid of the Everclear and the diesel in 190. So
right. That was before we ever started Hatchets Hooch. We've been doing this 5 years.
Wow. So it's been that long.
Yeah, man. It's getting older, time flies.
Yeah, no, I live in a bubble or something.
So, they made anything over, I think, like 160 illegal in North Carolina. So all the liquor stores sold every bit of Everclear 190 they had, diesel 190, and then after that they didn't get any more in. And like you said, they got the 151 Everclear in, but diesel doesn't make anything. I don't think like that. But,
they don't.
And the whole reasoning for that I was told and that I read was that teenagers were abusing it.
Well,
they're not supposed to have it anyway.
Yeah.
So
well, but
alcohol doesn't work.
Yes, That's true. They shouldn't have it, but that was okay. When I was a teenager, my go-to was 190 grain. So, I mean, I understand it. I totally and 100% wholeheartedly understand that issue. However, I don't think. I mean, I guess I see it because that's something that in and of itself is something that can definitely. I mean, it can lead to alcohol poisoning in a heartbeat because it doesn't. I mean, it's 190, like it's 95% alcohol, so it definitely can, not a very large amount can put you in the hospital.
I agree with that, and but do we not agree with the Darwin Awards, right?
Oh yes, I mean if they're that stupid, then I mean I was that stupid, but
Sure.
I admit that I was that stupid. At least I'm okay with it. I've came to accept it.
Well, so let's get back to the liquor store. So I wonder, is it because of this pandemic that they're getting in this and we can make sanitizer with it, or is it a mistake that it actually came to the store, or what's the deal there?
So when I went to the register, I actually mentioned it because it was such an oddity to see it. That I had to ask a question. And I just said, I asked the lady, I was like, how long? I was like, when did 190 come back? Because we haven't had 190 in such a long time. And her reply was, I don't really know when it came back, but a lot of people are using it for cleaning supply. So, and I will say that the liquor store that I went to had fifths, and I think I paid $25 for a fifth. But they also had half gallons. However, I don't remember the price. I think it was like $38 or something for a half gallon. But they had a sign up that said limit 1 half gallon per household. So I'm assuming that the only reason that we got it in North Carolina right now is to because of the pandemic. I would look, and also because I did before I went to the liquor store, I had checked the quarterly price lists on the NC Alcohol Beverage Committee website to see what all was going to be available, maybe to shoot some videos with that wasn't super expensive. But the highest that they had listed was $151. Right. So it wasn't on the books in February when they released the quarterly price list, and it was in stores 2 days ago. So I'm assuming that the reason for it being in stores is because they ordered it due to the pandemic.
Right. So they want people to use it for cleaning supplies, maybe making hand sanitizer. But I wonder, when I was young, I used it. I used the 190 also for fire breathing. So I wonder if that's on the list that we can use it for too.
I mean, you can use it for whatever you want once you get it home.
Let's do some fire breathing after the show.
Oh, Lord. I burnt my lips up doing that silly crap, let me tell you.
All right, let's get back to the benchmark.
Yep.
All right, so we're iced down.
Yep.
The alcohol vapors are gone.
Exactly. It's gone completely. The sweetness smell is still there. It's still prevalent, and I think it's still on the forefront.
I agree with that the whole way through. Sweet smell. Almost like a sweet feed, like you would feed horses.
Yeah.
Which actually has molasses mixed in it.
That's true.
So, all right, let's taste it. Not bad.
Not bad at all. It still has the bitter tones, like they're still there, and it is like we always, a lot of times we say the zest. So a citrus zest type bitterness is what I taste.
And that's all I tasted.
I didn't taste any sweet tones. There is some smoke on the backside, like I can taste that just in breath. The smoky is still there also, but it's not prevalent. The prevalent is the bitterness.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't taste the corn from the moonshines coming through on it this time,
I didn't either.
which is, that's fine. This is a great bourbon in the works.
It really is. The flavor profile is still pretty good again for a bargain priced bottle.
Right.
And I know that this would mix very well. Like there's nothing that I wouldn't try this in.
Yeah, I think a good sun drop. You got the citrus bitterness of the liquor, and you got the sweetness of the sun drop,
Yep.
which is, in your opinion, close to.
No, it's not. It's not anywhere close to that.
Okay. But yeah, even a Mountain Dew is really sweet, and the bitterness of this would really work well together, I think.
I agree. I think for mixing, it's definitely gonna be the way to go. At $10.95 a bottle, you can't beat that for a good mixing bourbon.
Well, I mean, I got this buddy at work, Clint. He likes to go home almost every night and mix a good Yeti cup full of bourbon and Coke. And he was drinking Evan Williams strictly and forever. And I was like, look, man, try something different. He never would. I actually had to go buy him some 1712 for him to try something new. And he was like, wow, that's so good. And I said, okay, now try some liquor for it. And he got that, and he was like, wow, that's so differently, but it's so good. And he just keeps trying different ones. But for him, somebody who goes home and drinks a 32-ounce cup, of mixed, he's gonna spend $35 on one bottle of Makers, or he can spend $35 and get 3 bottles of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
So for the everyday drinker, man, this would be, economic.
Well, that's how you have to look at it too, from like a bar perspective, because the house blend. I mean, that's sort of what this will be. This would be the house bourbon. Like you're gonna have that. I want a bourbon and soda, or a bourbon and cola, a bourbon and Sundrop. That's if you don't ask specifically for a Makers and Sundrop, or you know what I mean. If you don't ask specifically for it, you're gonna get the lower cost product, and you're still gonna pay for it, but it'll be a little bit less.
I guess you've been hanging out at these nice bars, because the ones I go to use aristocrat whiskey.
Well, I mean, now I will say again, we've already sort of discussed the fact that this does not exist a lot. It's not super readily available. So yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying in general, for like a budget priced, it'll probably be like, it might be an Ezra Brooks, or an Evan Williams, or a Jim Beam. I mean, that's another one. That's an inexpensive bottle also. So it'll be something that's less, as their house rendition.
Sure, and I'm sure that places that you can get this more often, that's what bars do use.
Right.
It's a Buffalo Trace product. It's got a good name behind it, so it's cheap. Why wouldn't you use it?
Exactly.
I like this one pretty good, and this will be one that I'm sure my wife will drink. And for $10, man, go try it.
Exactly. It's definitely worth a try. And then even if you're a person that doesn't like straight liquor, this would be a good easy mixer. And you're not gonna, especially if you already partake in lower priced bourbons, you're probably not going to see much difference in the flavor profile.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's got a great smell, but the flavor still needs a little more time.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I bought Benchmark, knowing the family that it came from, I kind of had more expectations for it. But, give it another year or two. Throw one of them spiral corks in it, set it up on the shelf.
Yeah, that's true. And that might be what we do with this. If we can get down there to the what do you call it, the little hop store down yonder, and see if we can't snatch a couple more of those corkscrews, and maybe we can throw one in and just see what happens with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got another Nashville 1 moonshine that we need to drink with John Boy, and then once that's done, we can throw another cork in that one too.
Oh, I'm down with that because that's going to be really good. I'm so excited for that guy next year. Ready to try it again.
All right. So anything else to add on this next month?
I think that we've pretty well covered it. Get out there and try it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can find it, or if you got it, give it a try for $10, man. You're not gonna go wrong.
Yep.
All right. So, Buffalo Trace guys, you can't go wrong with any of their products. This is the cheapest one. Mix some bourbon and Coke with it.
Whiskey, we call it whiskey sour. This would make a really good whiskey sour.
Sure, definitely. All right. Anything to add?
No. Get out there, like we always say at the end of every video. Support your local distilleries. If you're close enough to a place that has a prevalence of local distillers, get out there and support them because they're working every day to try to produce products that will really excite your taste buds, I guess, because they're putting their heart and soul into each and every product, and the more that you can support them, the more that it will entice them to create new stuff. And the more new stuff we get, the happier we are here on Hatchets Hooch, let me tell you.
That's right. All right. I guess that's it for this episode of Hatchets Hooch. Like and subscribe. And you got any comments on Bitsmark, leave it down in the comments. And we'll see you next time on Hatchets Hooch.
See ya.